Hi, Steven. I'm going to take you on a little garden tour, look at some updates, and then I'm going to insert some other clips from earlier in the week. So let's get started. One thing that you haven't seen yet is this updated garden behind me here by the back door. So I planted a lot of my extra mahogany splendor, and then my yellow petunias and some snapdragons. So a whole line. And most of it gets full sun all day. So, adding a bit of height, eventually it'll sort of cover the window here and I'll have to trim it. But, I think it'll look good. Looking a little bit at the pond area, you can see that I put in this picket fencing with my stakes. Now this is how I'm going to edge my island gardens in the lawn. But it looks finished, even without the top edge there. And then I was cleaning the gutters and I added solar gutter lights for my mural. So that all gets lit up at night instead of being lit up by the neighbor's floodlight. And then you can see I've gotten a lot of rain. My cannas are coming up. A lot more height to them. And then my hanging baskets have been holding on with my zinnias and geraniums and polka dot plants. I finally cut out the dead center to this lemony lace elderberry. My fine line buckthorn is doing well. It's almost at 5 feet, which is nice. Here you can see a bunch of bush branches. I'm going to insert some of that into this video. Some of my other cannas are coming up. This is a Pretoria canna. And yeah, it might be a Pretoria. This one I think is this one here I think is a confetti. So it's just a regular green leaf and then it has sort of a polka dot flower. And then my caladiums with the muscifolia in there. This black lace elderberry. So it came up and then it started to flop all over the place. And now it's growing this tall shoot. So I think with all of my elderberries, I'm going to cut them down to the ground and then see what happens to them. Because you can see these here, I haven't cut these down to the ground ever. I've just let them grow. I've let them grow. And I don't want them to get taller, so I'm going to cut them down either late fall or early spring. And then I still need to trim my lilac. And I need to do it now because blooms are setting for next year. And my willow here is doing well. Of course, it's right next to the gutter here, so for the downspout. And we got a big heavy rain the other day. So then all the rain that collected in the wheelbarrow went into the willow. No fruit yet from my black currant. Lots of fruit on the elderberries. Everything is going well with the sun garden here. The hydrangeas are finally coming up. My liatris, my gay feather here, is gonna bloom in the next few days. And then I got my peach daylilies. I wanted to show you this ruby slippers oak leaf. Putting it in the pot has really helped it to grow. It has never, in the 3 years I've owned it, it has never been this big. It started out in the front yard, and then it was in the ground over here. So I think being in a pot and then having some shade has helped it. And then you can see my clematis here, my purple clematis. And I still can't get over how wide and spreading these petunias are. I mean, those came from seed. Those aren't like wave petunias. They're from Johnny Seeds. Here, oh, look at this. This is the first time I've seen these sweet peas bloom. You see the different color there, the pink and the white. That's cool. I think that's the only surviving sweet pea vine out of like 20. That's cool. Last year it was more of a white sweet pea that I grew. The viburnum is doing well here. This is where the oak leaf hydrangea was. And then my muscifolia canna is doing well. It would probably do a lot better if it wasn't in clay soil. And my vegetable garden is doing well too. This pepper plant here is really taking off after the big rainstorm. We're getting some green bell peppers, and then we got some snack peppers over here. We're getting our bush beans, and then our pole beans and cucumbers are coming up onto the cattle panel. Even if you don't want to grow things vertically on the cattle panel, if you're a bird person, the birds love the cattle panel. I plan on putting more cattle panel in here and then over there, and the birds are gonna love it. Not much has changed in the shade garden. I need to come back and weed whack all these weeds. I did move this tree stump thing, and then I poured a mixture of moss, old milk, and beer on this. And then of course it rained, so then all that got washed off. I'm gonna get some more moss and then probably put some more beer and milk on there and keep it moist. Supposed to rain tomorrow. I put up some bird feeders, and it has spicy seed, so the squirrels stay away from it. That is a big win for me with the squirrels. Let's see. This elephant ear is doing okay. You can see here, it's sort of loose in the ground there. I think the bulb is rotting. So as long as it's leaned up to the right, it's stable. One thing I've been dealing with this week has been nettle. So trying to kill nettle. The problem is that the neighbors have like 8-foot nettle in their yard. So I've been doing more weeding and trying to spray the nettle. This here is nettle. If you just brush your skin up against it briefly, you're gonna feel instant pain. And then you're gonna have a rash. So I'm trying to spray that. See, the standard hydrangea has not bloomed yet. I think it needs some chelated iron with all this yellowing here. It does this every year, so I need some iron to add to that. See, the Fountain of Youth Japanese maple is doing relatively okay. A lot better than last year, with partial shade in the morning and early afternoon. My yellow hollyhocks are doing well. Hopefully they flower this year. My yellow cornflower is still blooming. I deadheaded all of the old blooms. I think you can see here. Maybe not. There's bees that are green. Those are sweat bees. Those have been all over these. More recently has been the bumblebees. The bumblebees are finally coming to pollinate. And they've really been pollinating on the I always go blank when I make these videos. The button bush. They've really been on the button bush. And sadly, the blooms on the button bush don't last very long. You see my purple daylily here. Just an explosion of bloom. All of my yellow daylilies have already bloomed and been done. I think if you compare old videos to this area here, there was a ton of weeds. Weed killer did not work on all of that clover. I had to weed it by hand, and I'll insert some of that video. The nettle that I showed you that was dead, I sprayed this clover here with that spruce pet safe weed killer and it did nothing. I heavily sprayed the nettle and it did actually die. Would I recommend the spruce spray? No, I would not. It's not worth the money. Here's my blue globe thistle. So this blooms and then we transition into the blue globe thistle. And then after the thistle, we're going to have the proudberry producing some berries. Well, that's exciting. Everything is doing well in the other raised bed. I wanted to get some squash or some cucumbers to grow up the other side of the cattle panel. I went to Menards and there was nothing but tomatoes for vegetables. So I don't know. I don't know if I should grow some more cucumbers or beans from seed. I mean, it only takes 50 to 60 days from seed to harvest. So I might do that. But I wanted to do some like squash or some little pumpkins or something. Oh, what else to show you? All of my Japanese maples are doing well. They're surviving. Everything is surviving. I'm being more mindful of the weeding. I did dig into the carrots a little bit to see their progress. They're doing well. Some of them are bent, so they go down and then they bend horizontally. I don't know what's up with that. The onions, they're doing okay. I need to look and see days for a harvest and see if we're getting close. I don't think we're getting close. I'm sort of waiting for the onions to flower or get close to flowering. You're supposed to pluck the blooms. But I don't think we're close to harvest. But I'm really excited about the beets. They've sort of been growing up. And I don't really feel much of a beat under there, so we'll wait. I'm patient. We got some cucumber blooms in there, so we're waiting for those to climb up. This whole situation here is a whole different video. I put up a tarp on this clothesline here, and I had one nice patio fire without a floodlight shining in my face. So that was nice. I'm not doing the greenhouse. So the structure here with these 4x4s, I'm not doing the greenhouse. I decided I already have a greenhouse. It's the Four Seasons. I mean, I can open up the back door and boom, greenhouse. It's got heat, it's got electricity, it's got AC. It's got shaded windows. It's perfect. I don't need to spend $2 or $3 grand on an exterior greenhouse. I checked with the city, and this is going to be more of a lean-to pergola. It's going to have a solid back wall. It'll be 8 feet in the back, 10 feet in the front, and then the front and sides will be open, and it will have a metal slanted roof from 10 feet to 8 feet. City said I could do that. I don't need a permit. It's going to be under 50 square feet. The length is just less than 10 feet. The width is going to be 4 feet. So that's less than 40 square feet. That's all they care about. The side walls are going to be less than 10. That's all they care about. That's it, pretty much. That's an update I have.